President IBRAHIM Traoré, President of the sovereign nation of Burkina Faso, son of the African soil, defender of his people. May grace and peace be multiplied to you through wisdom, courage, and truth.
Hello guys, welcome back once again to this channel. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. Now, it's very ironical that after many attempts, after several attempts of killing IBRAHIM Traoré, now there's a new wave, a wave of support. And I just don't know if they truly mean it, if it's a genuine one, it's a genuine support to our very hero, our brother, and our leader as Africans, IBRAHIM Traoré, being supported by the whites. I just want us to watch these clips that I've prepared for you today, and then later on we can come and share our views concerning the same. All credits goes to the creators that you've seen on the screen. I want us to watch it, then later on we can come and have a conversation concerning the same. If this is your first time in this channel, please consider supporting us by simply subscribing, give us a like, share our content, man, we'll greatly appreciate.
Why are the Americans threatening Burkina Faso? Why is Trump going to back for the French and going after this guy? Why is the head of the U.S. AFRICOM, the Africa Command, talking about the need to secure Burkina Faso's resources? Because this guy is the boogeyman to European imperialism. He's a young black African Muslim Marxist who is digging out the French deep state in Africa. French colonialism never ended in Africa. The French have a very effective deep state in Africa. Through the banking system, through fake ownership of the natural resources of Africa, they have been able to maintain economic and political and military control over much of their former colonies. Most of the wealth of France is still stolen from Africa. The gold that fills their banks, the uranium that powers their metropolis, all of this is looted from Africa. When they pulled out, they installed a deep state with corrupt rulers that they could pay off in order to get resources for practically nothing. And Traoré is ending that system. French created a banking system for Africa that gives France basic entire control over those nations' economies. The Africans actually have to borrow their own money at interest from France. And the gold mines, the uranium mines, all the natural resources in these countries are treated as French property, and Traoré has been making them property of the Burkinabe people. And as leader of the Alliance of Sahel States, his neighbors have been joining in on it. France has been getting driven out of Africa. Some good information on it. Check out the Al Jazeera documentary, The Gold Mafia, from Al Jazeera Investigates, or this Caspian Report video about how the French bank basically owns a bunch of African countries. Now, while Trump probably does not have any direct financial interest in the French Empire, there's what they always called the threat of a good example. The reason they tried to kill Fidel Castro so many times and blockaded Cuba was not just because of the loss of the banana fields and sugarcane fields. It was that if driving imperialism out of a country improves the standard of living in that country, then there's the threat of a good example of other countries replicating. So any country that dared to defy imperialism had to be severely punished. And what Brother IBRAHIM has been doing and the Alliance of Sahel States have been doing has been improving the standard of living in their countries by using those resources for those countries, and that is a threat to imperialism worldwide. There's been something like 20 or 21 coup attempts or assassination attempts on him so far, and they're not going to stop. This guy is perhaps the single greatest threat to the imperialist world order right now.
IBRAHIM Traoré is posing such a big problem for the West and why they want rid of him. This guy's doing what a leader should do. He's protecting African people and he's protecting African resources. Take a look at what IBRAHIM Traoré has done since he was elected in 2023. He increased the GDP of Burkina Faso from 18.8 billion to 22.1 billion. He reduced the salaries of ministers by 30% and increased the salary of civil servants by 50%. He made Burkina Faso a debt-free country. Now think about what our government is doing to farmers in the UK, and then look at what IBRAHIM Traoré has done for farmers in his country. He bought them 400 tractors, 239 tillers, 710 motorbikes, 714 pumps, which meant the production of millet, rice, tomatoes and cotton rose by millions of tons. But the main reason why they want rid of IBRAHIM Traoré is because he's banned the colonial exploitation from France and the West, who for years have kept Africa poor and weak by exploiting the minerals. All the gold, oil, platinum, diamonds, all these precious minerals have been extracted from Africa. The African people have been paid pennies, and that's what's keeping them poor. Now he's a problem, he's a terrorist, and the West has to go in and help Burkina Faso, just like we went in and helped Palestine, we went in and helped Syria, just like we went in and helped Libya. They destroy the infrastructure and destroy the lives of the people so they can get what they want, line their own pockets, and have complete control of how the world works. And if IBRAHIM Traore, God willing, stays alive and succeeds, this is a big problem for the New World Order moving forward. It means no one world government, it means no one world currency, because if you can't control Africa, you can't control the world. So this is why we need to pray for this man, this is why we need to keep him alive, and this is why we don't believe anything we see on the mainstream media about him being a problem, a terrorist, an extremist. Someone with empathy, someone with courage, someone who's willing to die for his people for what he believes.
Also insulted all Africans.
I think they forgot to say thank you to us. It's not a big deal. It will come with time.
There is a part that caught my attention where he talked about ingratitude.
Gratitude, I am well aware, is a non-transmissible disease to humans.
He is human. Our ingratitude is not transmissible to him. This is how this gentleman sees Africa, sees Africans. We are not human in his eyes. I think that if he is not an atheist and he prays, every morning when he wakes up and prays, he should also pray to the Africans. Because it is thanks to our ancestors that there is a France today. He should pray to us.
France occupied Burkina Faso for generations. They stole gold and uranium, billions of dollars of resources for pennies on the dollar, while the people of Burkina Faso suffered. But Burkina Faso's new revolutionary leader, Captain IBRAHIM Traore, says no more. Traore has kicked out all of the French troops from his country in Africa. He has banned exports of gold to Paris, and he has dropped French as the official language of Burkina Faso. It's a total cultural, political, and economic reset. Now, obviously, French President Emmanuel Macron is kind of upset with all of this. He has made his position known. And President Traore beautifully responded. He said, if anyone is ungrateful, it is him, Emmanuel Macron. France exists today thanks to our ancestors. They should pray for us. And Burkina Faso is making it clear that this is not about some attack on France. This is about independence and sovereignty. Just last week, Burkina Faso's President Traore decided to release 4 French spies who were guilty of attempting to commit a coup against the president, Captain IBRAHIM Traore, in 2022. The message is clear. Burkina Faso is not the pawn of France or the Dutch or the United States anymore, but forgiveness is also at the heart of their revolution. Traore says that this is not just a split, it is a revolution with global ripples. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Apparently Trump works for French bankers now. He's threatening to arrest IBRAHIM Traore. You ought to know who he is. He's the youngest president in the world. He's the president of Burkina Faso, and he has been wrapping up the French Empire in Africa. The French are still looting Africa through the banking system, through ownership of all the natural resources in Africa, and they've been straight looting the place. And this guy's been leading the charge to not do that shit anymore. Trying to opt this guy like he was Fidel Castro. I should tell you something. He's probably doesn't seem to be very well known in the world media, but this is one of the most significant dudes in the world right now.
Have you heard of President IBRAHIM Traore of Burkina Faso? All right, young man, been in power 2 years now, president of Burkina Faso. He's a military guy, captain. And I don't know if you know about this, but there's been about 18 assassination attempts on his life. And he came into power at a very strategic time in the history of Burkina Faso, a lot of difficulty, instability. And he's done quite a few amazing things in his 2 years, even though they've tried to assassinate him so many times. If you go and look what he is trying to do in terms of key reforms aimed at stabilizing his nation. He has built schools, hospitals, roads, developed agriculture, donating a lot of tractors and equipment for agricultural development so they can produce their own food. They have stopped exporting raw materials. They are trying to process gold themselves, hospitals, all those kind of things. You know, there's a lot of things, even airport, all right? And so there's a lot of development that's going into Burkina Faso at this moment in time. And I'm sitting and I'm looking at this whole thing. Now, I'm not saying I agree with everything he is doing, all right? I'm also not saying that everything he's doing is bad. I think any president that is building schools, working on education, all right? Any president that is bettering the health care of their people, that's trying to help their people to become more self-sustainable, less reliant on imports, etc., increase production in the country, factories, job creation, etc. I think that is a praiseworthy president. And so the interesting thing is, when it comes to Africa, and you go and look at the history of the last 20 years of Africa, and presidents that have been removed either through a military coup and or assassinated and or removed weird circumstances or committed suicide, you know. A lot of those, or let me rephrase that, some of them were corrupt, all right? All of them were not good. But there were a number of them whose heart was really to better their country. But they have something in common, and that is that they went against the global establishment, if I can put it like that. And I'm not going to define that, go into details, all right? I think you know what I'm talking about. And so a lot of them just suddenly left this earth in sometimes a very bizarre way. So I'm looking at President IBRAHIM Traoré, and I'm not saying, again, I'm agreeing with everything he's doing, especially with some of his alliances, some of the other leaders in Africa that he's endorsing. Some of them are questionable, all right? But it is very clear that he's got a heart for his people and for his nation. And in his aim to develop his own country, there's been roughly 18 assassination attempts on his life. And if you look at the trend of African leaders disappearing when they want to build their own countries and invest in their people, isn't that a bit strange to you? Isn't that bizarre? You know? Now, I know what's going on. I'm not talking from a position of ignorance, all right? The thing is just I can't discuss a lot of these things on this platform, all right, because of the fact that the video will be removed. Free speech is not always as free as you think. You know, there's a price to pay. In any case, so I'm looking at this whole situation with interest and seeing where this is going. But I'll tell you one thing. If I look at what has happened the last 2 years with Captain IBRAHIM Traoré, I would say if I was him, I would sleep with one eye open. And it's very hard to know who you trust in circumstances like that. And that is true for any leader, any government official, any president. Sometimes you don't know who are friends and who are your enemies. But let's keep our eye on this. Very interesting developments, and a lot is changing in Burkina Faso at this moment in time.
Alassane Ouattara, the president of Ivory Coast. Listen to me very carefully. If you are going to let American use your air bases or military forces to try kill IBRAHIM Traoré or destroy Burkina Faso or destroy Mali or destroy Niger, I am telling you straight, you will face us. And we will point you as Africa's enemy. This is direct warning to you.
President IBRAHIM Traoré, President of the sovereign nation of Burkina Faso, son of the African soil, defender of his people. May grace and peace be multiplied to you through wisdom, courage, and truth. I received your letter not as a political communique, nor as a demand echoing through diplomatic channels. I received it as a cry of the soul, powerful, principled, and painful, from a son of the continent that has known too much loss, too much silence, and too many broken promises. I have read your words, not once, but many times, and each reading pierced deeper than the last, for in your voice I heard not merely the anger of a president, but the righteous cry of a continent, long wounded by the dual blades of neglect and exploitation, Let me begin not with defense, but with confession. Yes, the church has, at moments in history, stood beside colonizers, when it should have stood beside the crucified. Yet there were chapters, some long, some shamefully brief, where the mission of salvation became entangled in the machinery of.
Hello guys, welcome back again, and I hope you've had a nice time watching these videos that I had prepared for you. And let us be all honest with ourselves. Just the other day they were planning to kill him, and not even the other day, there are so many days that they've been planning to kill him, and they also attempted to kill him, but it wasn't successful. And I find it funny. I see that they are now responding to this say that goes that if you can't beat them, then join them. I don't know if this is the real path they have chosen to follow, or there are some of the other plans behind this. We all know that the enemy is never happy, especially when you're just going to outdo him. He's never happy. Or when you've cut his hands, now that he cannot grab the stuffs that he was grabbing back then. And so I guess, and I'm not guessing, this is the truth, that they're just playing with the minds of the people, so that they will show them that they had no reason of assassinating him. They had no reason of killing him. We all know the likes of Patrice Lumumba, Muammar Gaddafi. Before, they say that he's good, and later on, when he tries to bring objection to their ideas, then he gets executed. Now they turn that that good name that they had given him to a bad one. And I think this will be the case, and I pray for it not to be the case. I know this is the same narrative that they've been using earlier on, and they will still try to apply it on this one. Muammar Gaddafi and Thomas Sankara, and you name them, they were all killed by some people that were so close to them, people that they couldn't even think they could go against them. And so this is what they do. I believe they will try to do it once again. They will pretend that they are in good terms with our leader Traore. They will pretend that they have nothing against him. And then later on, if they come to kill him, you won't know. In fact, they will use one of his closest people to kill him. So there will be no reason to lay that fault to them. They will not be guilty, since he's not killed by America, since he's not killed by the Western countries. Now that he will be killed by one of his own. And I think this is the high time that Africans and the rest of the black people need to know the importance of solidarity, the importance of supporting with your own. Africa is the future of many blacks. Africa is the mother of many people who are black. This is the place that you will stay and feel safe as a black person, because they keep on repeating the same thing. Even when you look at the general from the US, is a black person, and so they try to use people from your place to take you out. They try to bring people in that look like you, so you cannot blame them. You won't blame them. Even if we say that today they try to take him down, they will not come as an American soldier or an American representative. They will come in as someone from Burkina Faso. So maybe we cannot protect him. Maybe we can't do that much, but can we do the very little that is in our control? Let's talk about this more often. Let's show them that we know they are the ones supposed to be responsible for his downfall, because he is their enemy. We know that he is going to be their enemy. Not even he's going, he is already their enemy. My very prayer is that God sustains him, that God may protect him, because we cannot protect him fully. We cannot do that much to protect him unless God intervenes. And it is my prayer, that every African, every black person in this either from this continent or not from this continent, can you stand with your own? Don't you let yourselves be used against your very own people. These are my honest thoughts and views. I don't know what you think about it. Let's keep on hanging out in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Tell me what are your views. And through this, we're going to learn from each other, unlearn what we need to unlearn, and relearn what we need to relearn. I've been your host, Turain Shadrach, and if this was your first time in this channel, please consider supporting us by simply subscribing. Give us a like, share our content. We'll greatly appreciate, man. And as I always finish by saying, together we get stronger, and divided we get weakened. So let's keep together. Let's keep on uniting. I'm hoping to see you in the next video. Goodbye.